Welcome back, beautiful people, and hi, friends. So, I was training a client this morning, and there's a piece of our conversation this morning that lingered with me as a great reminder and really gave inspiration to this talk that we're having. And then I had a talk with another friend, honestly, like 30 minutes ago, that helped fuel this too. And it's really cool when you become a little more in tune with the universe in yourself and things like that. Kind of has to do with almost like the 1111 I have tattooed on both the top surface of my hands, which really signifies trust if you want to go down the rabbit hole of 1111, make a wish, angelic numbers, things along that rabbit hole. But just plucking apart the universe from repeated messages and just signals or noise or frequencies or vibrations or whichever term you want to use, almost coincidences, signs, or omens, that you can start to see some of the repeated messages, patterns from whoever it is that is pulling the strings on all things. And where I'm going with this, the conversation that we had this morning, a great training session, and he was doing so well. And at the end of our session, we started talking. We do talk a lot of philosophical things and personal development, rabbit holes, and things like that. That just, I mean, it makes sense for the context of what we're doing. Is that we are there with the mission and purpose of bettering him, for him to better himself, and for me as a byproduct to better myself as well as a coach, someone being able to articulate and help somebody else transform from a physical perspective, also on those deeper under the iceberg levels. From a belief standpoint, a confidence standpoint, and things along that nature too. That it goes in between all that spectrum from for both him and I. And the thing that we talked about at the very end, that I feel like this is a conversation that is worth sharing out into the world. And it's like the thing that we start talking about is, say the day's over tonight. Like you're listening to this tonight, your head is on the pillow, and then you were to ask yourself, if this was it, would you be okay with it? If you were okay with the second that you close your eyes, you never open it again, the next day, which we only live moment by moment. Every moment that is granted to us is a blessing, and at a snap of a finger, everything can change just like that. So no moment is guaranteed or promised. Neither is tomorrow, and I think so. We all, me included as a victim, believe that I have time there. I have time, I have energy, it's an endless stream, I have time to do things. And yes, view it through that lens, but view it through the other lens of, you're going to die. You don't know when, but you're going to die. There will be an inevitable ending. Everything has a life cycle. And that falls back to a Latin phrase that I love, that I actually do want to get tattooed behind my ear, called the Latin phrase. It's been more popularized within Stoic nature of people, is memento mori. And it means, translate differently, but you will die. There will be an inevitable ending, and there's a life cycle to everything. With every beginning, there's an end. And it's a continuous loop over and over and over. And so with that question, asking yourself at the end of the day, if this was it, would you be okay with how the cards played out, how everything unfolded and shook out? And it's okay if it's not the perfect day, because there's no such thing as perfect, because there's no measuring stick of how you can measure perfect. Of course, you can pick a domain if it's a financial success that day, if it's a productivity task that you were on a to-do list of, on the endeavor of checking off or whatnot. There's no perfect day. And it's like, if we add that type of agency to how we live our days, it does help center us, I believe. It does for me, viewing the world through that lens of death, not as just a way of morbidness or dark lens. And I understand that I am still relatively young, being only 28 years old, and my heart has been touched by death. not as deeply embedded compared to others. But I'm not as foreign as I used to be. And so when you start viewing the world through that, I think it's powerful because it helps you slingshot your way back to here and now. If you look at it that way, you ask yourself that question of would you be okay if it all ended today, and it's okay if it's not, and it's I hope it's a yes. How the how you spend your time, the things you did, and everything like that. And so if it's not, then maybe the next moment, the next day, you might want to change how you do things. Because the question I ask myself at the beginning of each day internally is what would give me the most peace today for when my head hits the pillow. And how I do that is up to me, and it doesn't necessarily mean view it through the the standpoint of I need to go quit my job, I need to go do random things that is outside of my nature, outside of alignment of who I actually am, value, and things like that. Because sometimes we see that stuff in the movies, or see some people go that extreme, believing that they should do those things, like go jump out of a plane, go just do crazy things if it's not in alignment with who they are and what they actually do want, but they're just doing it because it seems extreme. And say you are on a knowing that there's an expiration date, there's a timer, you just do it like that. So I feel like this is cool, a cool conversation that I had this morning with my client that I wanted to share, and I feel like it can be very worthwhile to a lot of people. And I know you can see it through that dark lens, but you can also see it through the lens of time is such a commodity, and the time that we choose to spend with people, our attention, our energy that we want to direct that towards. Yes, it's like you do have your work that day, things that you are doing, and maybe this is not the season of life that you want to be in specifically. You don't want to be in this grinding phase. Like, for example, for me, I'm trying to claw myself out of a mountain of debt. Would I like to be in a better situation financially so then I'm not gasping for that much air on a daily basis and feeling that boot in my throat? Yes, but I am not allowing it. Some days better than other, not fully allowing that to completely crumble me, but rather using it, just accepting and embracing it just the way it is, which comes back to another really cool stoic uh, exercise or tenet is amor fati. It means the lover of one's fate, or the lover of fate in general. So it's not like you're just bending the knee and bowing to it, the it is what it is notion, but more so that you are willing to embrace how things are with open arms and the willingness to see it that way. And you just take it and you just take it and you take it through the best lens and the best approach that you can. So, like, making the bad situation still good. So you're just widening your lens, your aperture of how you see the world, and then what actions you want to take next is also a helpful model. Uh, so those are the repeated things I do try to remind myself that I feel like it's not very common, but for me it has become a common thing that it's like a practice that I still have to refine before it's more engraved inside my mind subconsciously, trying to reprogram, recalibrate the software so that it becomes embedded into the hardware since it's not a natural factory setting. And it's a cool thing, and I wanted to share that too. And I'm really grateful I had that conversation with my client this morning, and I'm really grateful that I do have a client like that, who is willing and open to have these type of conversation, and that is also interested in that realm of thinking and the expansion of the mind and spiritually do that stuff. That's really cool things. And so just wanted to share that out as today, because that did help set a tone for how I did view my day mostly today. That like yesterday, for example, I was fast forwarding things so much since I've been working really hard to make content, do this whole YouTube stuff, recording, production to turn around really, really fast, and all the other work I'm doing from studying, from my day job, from my side job, and taking care of being all the hats I do wear. And I have been fast forwarding myself a little too much. And even last night, it did hit me really hard to where I like passed out and gave myself like a migraine to where it did almost like it did consume me, like self-induced migraine to where it consumed me and made me want to pass out. And I almost vomited and all that stuff. I was so sensitive to any type of sensation, both physical, auditorial, and like visual. And had that conversation this morning, reminding myself some things, different conversations, and it did help me kind of zoom back out and slow things down internally through the aperture I'm viewing the world. And it's been more of a peaceful day. Even though I'm not slowing down with the intensity of how I'm doing things, I'm not stepping on the gas so hard. I'm just more so feeling like it's like I gotta hurry, 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 hurry. More so slowing down and giving it the time and the respect that it deserves. So if that helps you approach your days today or any day leading forward, take that and share it with somebody else. But yeah, I know that got heavy there. So wrap up today. It's like 1:46. So we're gonna work a little bit more until 3. Go to Trader Joe's with my girlfriend, since Fridays we like to go to Trader Joe's because it's the best place. And then I like cleaning in the evening. I don't know. I like resetting my place because it's fills me up and helps me feel better, helps calm me down. It's something that I like, is having a clean home. So that, and watch some TV, and then call it. So that's really an average Friday. That's honestly like my average day every single day, except going to the grocery store on Fridays. But yep, Costco, Trader Joe's, come home, chill, and that's it. So tomorrow, friends, let's do it again.